If someone from the dead goes to them, they will repent. Abraham said, if they will not listen to Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded if someone should rise from the dead. This dialogue between the rich man and Abraham from today's gospel ought to strike our hearts. How often do we say to ourselves, if only God would give me a sign, I'd be a much better person. Or if only God answered my prayers in a particular way, I wouldn't struggle so much with my faith. Again, all of us have fallen prey to this mode of thinking. This mode that states that we cannot live our faith unless we are given a specific sign. The problem is that when we think like this, we fall into having tunnel vision, unable to see things in our periphery. And when that happens, we begin to lose faith. Because while we are looking for a particular sign, we miss all the signs already around us. The truth is, it is all too easy to become spiritually blind without knowing it. When we get wrapped up in our ordinary, mundane lives, it's easy to forget that God is truly with us, showering us with grace and signs every moment of every day. What we need to do is broaden our horizons, taking a mental step back from our day-to-day activities to see spiritual signs more clearly. It could be as simple as a smile from a loved one, or the sight of a burning sunset, or the longing in our hearts caused by hearing a beautiful song. These small things can help jolt us out of our material world. They can act like little arrows pointing us up to the divine. When we gain that broader vision, we remember that life is not as mundane as we might have imagined. Father Abraham from today's gospel was right. We do not need someone to rise from the dead to convince us of living a good spiritual life. When we think we need to witness a big miracle to live a life of faith, then that in itself is a sign that we are ignorant of all the truth, all the goodness, and all the beauty that perpetually surrounds us. Now, one practical way to help us recognize God's presence in the world and all the signs he has already given us is through detachment from material possessions. In our first reading, the prophet Amos harshly condemns the complacent in Zion, who lay upon beds of ivory, stretched comfortably on their couches. Likewise, the rich man in the gospel today is condemned to hell. The message here is that riches and a life of luxury tend to blind us to the things of heaven and can ultimately sever us from the divine. Now, don't misunderstand me. Money and good food and other luxuries are not intrinsically evil. As the Catholic writer G.K. Chesterton once said, in Catholicism, the pint, the pipe, and the cross can all fit together. It is good to eat a nice meal and drink a good glass of wine every now and then, for God created everything good to be used, and here's a key, as a means to an end, not an end unto themselves. The problem of the rich man in the gospel was that he made his riches his God. He let the things of this world blind him from what truly mattered, namely living a spiritually grounded life, as proclaimed to him by Moses and the prophets. When material goods become our gods, everything will be sacrificed to them. We will sacrifice our relationships and our own souls to whatever it is that we value most. That is why the rich man refused to help his neighbor Lazarus, who was in terrible need. The rich man saw his own possessions as a greater good than Lazarus' own well-being. In the end, it's no wonder that material possessions can blind us from the spiritual dimension of reality. It's no wonder that if we become obsessed with riches, we will forget all the signs God is constantly giving us. So remember, the more we inundate ourselves in the things of this world, the more we will lose sight of a truly good life, a life grounded in God, where the signs of his presence are all around us. Turn your gaze from the material world below and look around to recognize the signs of divine life.